hospital beds, more surgeries.
Building a few beds in Edmonton and Calgary doesn't solve the staffing crisis that we're in.
Why critics say a new provincial plan won't work. Recall battle.
I think constituents need all of the available information to make an informed decision.
A UCP cabinet minister targeted by his constituents pushes back. And we love them so much.
We are, by the way, the only species on Earth that keeps pets.
The book that explores our deep connection with our pets. Good afternoon. We begin with breaking news. Police are investigating reports of human remains found at Nose Hill Park. That's where Tim Brook joins us. So, Tim, what have you learned?
Well, Ian, we can tell you police were called here to Nose Hill Park just before 11 o'clock this morning. Investigators arrived shortly after, and they've been here for the rest of the day working. The original call came into police from a bystander this morning. They reported what appeared to be human remains near the 6400 block of 14th Street Northwest. For some context, that's the main east entrance of Nose Hill, where we are right now and where the shots you're seeing right now were taken. And police have been searching the area for any additional evidence and are now actually asking the public to avoid this area while that work can continue. A lot of it will involve finding out exactly how old the remains are and who the person was. That process, of course, may take some time. Now, we are expecting a little bit more information once the medical examiner can do a complete autopsy. In the meantime, Ian, some questions remain unanswered, but we do know police are asking Calgarians to find another green space to hang out at for at least tonight. Back to you.
Tim, thanks for the update. Alberta's Premier has announced plans to create more than 1,000 hospital beds and deliver 50,000 additional surgeries over the next 3 years. But critics say the commitment to do so lacks real action. Mark Villani is live outside the South Health campus. So, Mark, walk us through what's being promised.
Well, Ian, Premier Smith says this initiative includes capital planning investments at 2 Edmonton hospitals for 2 acute care towers that will give more acute care beds there, but also here at the South Health campus behind me. Now, critics do say that this plan has more questions, though, than answers, including how all of this could be staffed, specifically when it comes to surgical facilities, too. The province says it will use chartered surgical facilities to hit those surgery targets, and it will expand operating room capacity. Now, the government says a mental health and addiction crisis is a major driver of emergency room visits as well. So to reduce that congestion, it's planning to increase the number of permanent psychiatric beds. More announcements for continuing care spaces also expected in the coming weeks, along with the development of a neonatal intensive care unit strategy to care for the most vulnerable infants. Now, while the idea sounds promising, critics do say it lacks timelines, staffing details, and transparency, and it does little to address burnout amongst frontline workers.
When you look at the closure map today, there's 26 facilities across the province experiencing emergency room or obstetrics or other facility closures. Building a few beds in Edmonton and Calgary doesn't solve the staffing crisis that we're in, which is the real issue in healthcare. We should be seeing access on staffing, on workforce. They barely mentioned it today, and that's the real issue in the system.
Now, meanwhile, there has been some progress in negotiations between the province and thousands of healthcare workers. After days of talks, a mediator has issued recommended terms of settlement, and union members will vote on those new terms in the coming days.
Thank you, Mark. A Beltline grocery store has been hit twice by thieves in 1 week, and the owners say it's part of a troubling trend in the area. Kalamata grocery store had a smashed window and theft overnight last week, and another one this week. Now they're out roughly $20,000 in cash and products. They'll also have to cover the cost of repairs and new security features. Other businesses in the historic block have already installed metal coverings due to break-ins, drug use, and other social disorder.
It's sad because, you know what, I mean, I've been here my whole life. We've tried to help. We've been a part of the community. It's a problem that's been, I don't know how to solve. It's been going on for years and getting worse and worse every day.
Calgary police are investigating the grocery store break-ins. Alberta's opposition party is calling on the government to raise the minimum wage.
The most recent StatCan data shows that more than 1/4 of Calgary households, and remember, Calgary is still the richest city in the country, and more than 1/4 of our households are financially struggling to make ends meet every month. 1/3 of Calgary households, including many, many people who are going to work every day, are struggling with food insecurity.
Alberta's minimum wage is currently the lowest in Canada at $15 an hour, and workers under 18 can be paid $13 an hour. The bill calls for bringing the minimum wage up to $18 over the next 3 years. A vote on Bill 201, the Protect Workers Pay Act, is expected in the legislature on Monday. The province wants to know your priorities for Budget 2026. An online survey launched today and will be available until January 15th. A telephone town hall is also set for December 9th. The finance minister says, along with feedback from the public, he also consults with businesses, municipalities, and industry organizations. Some Albertans are pushing for recall legislation against UCP MLAs. Now it looks like the UCP is pushing back. Stephanie Thomas joins us now from the Education Minister's riding. And Stephanie, that's where we're now seeing a counter-recall campaign.
And Dimitrios Nicolaides is considered one of the most high-profile targets of recall legislations. In fact, he is considered also the most vulnerable. But now he is taking action. The Education and Childcare Minister is under fire for his handling of the nearly 3-week-long teachers' strike. Now, during that time, ralliers would collect signatures for the recall effort. The Alberta Federation of Labour also says it's working to support signature campaigns here in this constituency and elsewhere. Now, Nicolaides has sent out an email. He's calling for supporters and volunteers to sign up to help him keep his seat.
There is, of course, a provision for a kind of counter-recall campaign, and I think that that's important. I think constituents need both sides of the coin and need all of the available information to make an informed decision.
Political watchers say the United Conservative Party initially championed recall legislation as an important tool to allow voters to have their voice heard in between elections. But they also say that they will be watching closely to see how the government handles Elections Alberta funding and how they amend legislation. Ian.
Thank you, Stephanie. People living in the northwest community of Citadel are frustrated. A beloved playground was demolished without plans to build a replacement. According to the city, the wood structure from 1998 had come to the end of its life cycle, and there are 2 other playgrounds 500 meters away. The plan was to replace the old one with something different, like a ping pong table and cornhole. However, this frustrated people because a public feedback report showed the strongest support for an updated playground.
We have young kids, and having a safe place that's close by, you know, is one of the reasons that we actually came to this neighborhood in the first place 10 years ago. And so having it gone, obviously, is a detriment.
Area Councillor Jennifer Wyness says she's heard from constituents, has put the project on hold, and is planning another round of public consultations. Wyness adds playground life cycles and budget-conscious replacements are a concern across the city. Katrina LeMay-Doan is stepping down from Sport Calgary after 9 years. The Olympian was president and CEO of the organization. The board says recruitment for her replacement is underway. Zoo Lights has just kicked off for the holiday season. Here's a live look at the thousands of Christmas lights decorating the zoo grounds. This year, Santa will have a new glittering home in the Skokie classroom. For families looking to save some money, admission is 20% off every Monday between November 17th and December 15th. Zoo Lights runs until January 4th. And Danielle, it looks like a pretty good night to check out Zoo Lights.
Yeah, a little on the colder side tonight, but things warm up for the next couple of days. For the weekend, for example, nice time to check it out. Yeah, we had a little blip of winter today, a little taste of it. And I say a taste because it's just one day. and we're going to bounce back up temperature-wise for the weekend. Now, yesterday, many communities had highs in the 20s. For Calgary, we got to 15 degrees. There were 8 communities that had new record daytime highs because of that strong, warm wind out of the west. Very different story today. We were cold. We have a wind chill right now of -4. We've been below freezing all afternoon, and this came with snowfall for the day. When we look at these next 24 hours, though, by tomorrow morning, because temperatures will climb while we're sleeping a little bit here, 0 by 8 a.m. The clouds will start to clear out in the morning, and then mainly sunny skies in the afternoon. But again, it comes with west gusts out of the west, 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by 5th Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit 5thAvVW.com. All right, Toy Mountain is off to a solid start this week. We're just a couple days in, and we've already collected 201 toys, which is a cash value of just over $7,000, all in support of Fear Is Not Love. November is Family Violence Prevention Month, and the CEO of Fear Is Not Love says Toy Mountain really helps children impacted by domestic violence.
And so Toy Mountain actually does several things for us. First, it does raise toys and brings in essentials, gift cards, and funding for necessary programs, but it also raises awareness. We all know someone who's impacted by this issue, whether we realize it or not, and there are so many children that are impacted.
Your donations of new unwrapped toys or essential items help victims escaping domestic violence. And you can find a drop-off location nearest to you on our website or make a cash donation online at ctvcalgary.ca.
Thank you, Danielle. The flu can still be a fatal illness. Coming up, another flu death in Alberta, and the age of the victim may surprise you. And volunteer effort, what it takes to make over a local legion. An army of volunteers spent the day giving the Cochrane Legion a facelift. Like many legions, the Cochrane branch is seeing declining membership and just doesn't have the funds available for a big renovation. Avalon Master Builder and Vola Coatings are supplying all the labor and supplies for the job. Today, they set out to paint the main floor of the Legion, along with replacing light switches, plug-ins, and a few fixtures.
We've now opened to the general public, so we want to freshen up and get rid of, I don't want to say get rid of any of the history, but modernize it, make it a more warm, inviting environment, not just for our members, but for the general public as well.
The Legion is also looking at refurbishing the bathrooms, resurfacing the bar, and getting a new deck. It's currently fundraising for those projects. The Calgary Food Bank has taken delivery of a big donation that will help feed the city's youngest residents. London Drugs has donated 5,600 units of infant formula. Several pallets are now at the food bank warehouse. The donation is valued at $364,000. The food bank says this is enough to last 3 months. The donation is part of London Drugs' Formula One campaign in association with the makers of Good Start baby formula. Very generous of them. Okay, we got quite a bit of snow this morning, but not too much. I imagine by the weekend it'll all be gone.
Yeah, let's say no shoveling was required.
Yes.
So that's helpful for us as we get a taste of it, right? We're just getting eased back into all of this. You know, there was lots of snow in the mountains. We got, you know, some falling here, but as we talked about, the ground has been so warm, so it melted as it hit the ground. All right, Bow Island area, Cardston, Claresholm, Coronation, Crow's Nest area, Drumheller, and 1-4 all broke records yesterday for new daytime highs because we had that strong wind out of the west, the Chinook setup that kicked up our temperatures. Some communities got into the 20s. In Calgary, we got to 15. So at this time yesterday, we were sitting at plus 15, and now with the wind chill, it feels like -4. So as they say, what a difference a day makes. This is the perfect area in the country to exemplify that, as we could say. All right, Claresholm feels more like -6 with that wind chill, with Pincher Creek -7, Medicine Hat -3, and Lethbridge -5. Drumheller -3. Yep, it's certainly cold. It will warm up for tomorrow. We're going to get the Chinook machine kicking back in for tomorrow. All right, it's been gusty, closer to 70 kilometers per hour. Lethbridge over to Medicine Hat, above or just about 50 in Pincher Creek and Crow's Nest Pass area, and close to 40 in Calgary and 50 in Brooks. It will still be windy tomorrow, but those winds will be out of the west. It will be a warmer wind, and we will get much warmer than where we got today. We won't have wind chill for most areas to deal with, especially by the afternoon. We won't have that at all. All right, so what's been happening? We have the core of the low way up in northern Saskatchewan, northern Manitoba, and that spins counterclockwise. What this is doing at the surface is forcing some air up the mountains because it's coming down this way. And that's enhancing the snowfall amounts that we're seeing, and this is really just being blown along here. We're pretty much done with it in Calgary. You may see some isolated spots where we get a few flurries here and there, but this will be concentrated in the far south for the next couple of hours, and then it will make its way out. In the overnight hours and through early tomorrow morning, though, there will be another little blip here with rain, even freezing rain possible, and some snowflakes. That's really early in the morning, up until about 6, 7 in the morning, closer to the Medicine Hat area, and then that clears out. And then things overall clear out for the entire southern part of the province. So for Calgary, we'll hold on to some cloud cover for the morning and then sunshine for the afternoon. The afternoon, though, comes with very gusty conditions. By the time we get into Sunday, the clouds will increase, but overall, it's still a nice day. And we have a really nice weekend ahead for us, especially considering we're in mid-November. These are temperatures above normal for sure. 9 degrees is our high tomorrow. Gusts 40 to 50 kilometers per hour in the afternoon, though, but the clouds will clear out for the afternoon. 6 degrees on Sunday. The winds will be a little calmer, and that's why we won't get quite as warm. Then we get a little windy on Monday again. 9 degrees is our high. We have the potential for some more flurries Monday night in through Tuesday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, we'll struggle to get above the freezing mark.
Three Albertans have died of the flu so far this season, including one person in their 40s. Alberta Health's latest numbers also showing 14 people requiring intensive care, including a child between 1 and 4 years old. So far, just 13% of Calgarians have been vaccinated for the flu. Flu vaccines are available at pharmacies throughout the province, and they're free. A tuberculosis outbreak has been declared for Edmonton's inner city. Primary Care Alberta made the decision after 2 homeless people were infected with the same strain in October. So far this year, 12 cases have been connected to Edmonton's inner city. TB mainly affects the lungs and can be spread through coughing, sneezing, and spit. It can be treated with antibiotics. Most of them are bred just to be our friends. Still ahead, the science behind our affection for dogs. Tariffs and the rising cost of living are having a chilling effect on holiday spending this year. The Bank of Montreal's Real Financial Progress Index reveals 61% of Canadians are cutting spending this year. Some are trying to avoid paying tariffs by buying Canadian. Others are simply accepting that the holidays will cost more. The report shows, on average, Canadians believe it will take them more than 2 months to pay off their holiday bills.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas!
Santa's sleigh has landed at South Centre Mall, and the big man himself is now available to visit with families. The mall prepared its enchanted forest for Santa to hear kids' Christmas wishes. Visitors can also see the cookie kitchen with some hands-on fun for kids. Donations there benefit Made by Mama, which distributes food hampers to families in need. You can book your visits with Santa in advance at southcentremall.com/holidays. The province has developed an acute care action plan. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. The province is adding more hospital beds and aiming to increase the number of surgeries by 50,000. The Premier says Albertans will see faster service and increased access to care. Coming up at 6, why the opposition NDP is skeptical of that promise. Also ahead, recall campaigns and citizen initiatives are being used to target the UCP. Today, the Alberta Federation of Labour says it plans to apply even more pressure. We'll have those details coming up at 6. Ian.
Thanks, Tara. Aren't they adorable? There's just something about pets, especially dogs and cats. And it's not just luck. There's science behind our attraction to and need to care for animals. Jay Ingram's new book is The Science of Pets. It's a big topic as there are more than 1 billion pets cared for by humans on planet Earth. And Jay Ingram joins us from Victoria. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, happy to be here.
Now, a lot of people will say, I like dogs more than I like people. So Is there some science to that? Is there a reason why people are so attracted to dogs?
Well, there may be some people that like pets more than humans. I'm not sure that a very much study has been done of those particular individuals. But, it's still actually a little bit of a mystery why we are, by the way, the only species on Earth that keeps pets. So there's something special about the human attraction to having some kind of animal around, whether it's the most popular version, as you said, like dogs and cats, but reptiles, turtles, budgies, whatever. And I think the best explanation is there's something called biophilia, the love of other living things. And I think for reasons that aren't clear, we have it, and we may even be born with it, and we're just attracted to other animals. And pet keeping has been the way that we express that.
And Jay Ingram's new book is The Science of Pets. To see my extended interview with Jay, visit ctvnews.ca/Calgary. The sunshine returns tomorrow, and it stays for much of the weekend. Right now in Calgary, it's mostly cloudy and -1. Danielle has details just ahead. Okay, I think my only requirement for the weekend is that there not be mud at the dog park. Because we had snow, it's going to melt, right?
It's wet today.
Yeah.
So maybe by Sunday,
okay,
a little drier.
All right, good.
But it'll be warmer on Saturday.
Yes.
I'd put on the boots and go out when it's warmer. Depends on the person here. Okay, -1 is the current base temperature. It feels a little cooler than that with the wind chill. We've been below freezing all afternoon. 2 degrees was our high, but that was at 1 a.m. All right, and 2 is what's normal for this time of year, so we're where we should be. All right, for the next 3 days, 9 degrees tomorrow, but gusty. Less gusty on Sunday, just a high of 6, back up to 9 for Monday, and flurries begin once again Monday night. Ian?
Thanks, Danielle. The International Christmas Market at Spruce Meadows is underway. The popular event will be at the show jumping facility for the next 3 weekends. Along with lots of shopping, there are crafts for kids and music to get you in the holiday mood. You can also get a photo with Santa for a $10 donation, which helps Habitat for Humanity. Christmas market tickets are available online or at the gate. There's a live shot you can see. It looks absolutely beautiful. Thank you for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.